although PlexusAV is a new name, we're part of an organization that's been around for 75 years called Sencor. And Sencor actually started out in the Pro AV space in the 60s and the 70s. And we set out to find a path back into the Pro AV market. But because we are an organization that's used to just doing everything based on standards, so without standards in the broadcast market, you're basically out of the game, right? Quite literally, actually. We've kind of struggled, like, so what's the way for us to go back? And then we figured out pretty quickly, so AV over IP is something, compression, encoding, decoding, some things that we've been doing for years and years already, just for different applications. And there was a standards initiatives actually inside of an organization that we were already part of that was being pushed and been getting good responses. So that's why we really decided we're going back into the Pro AV space, and this is what we're doing based on open standards. I think, first of all, there's a lot of siloed type AV over IP solutions which basically go and they look at the HDMI matrix that we all used to use, and before that RGB-HV and all this other stuff. And we just took that basic principle and almost just changed the way we distribute the signal and happened to do it over IP. And what we've added is a lot of flexibility in being able to add more encoders and decoders, and not being able to be a limit, or we're not being limited to encoders and decoders being added because you don't have a port that you need to worry about. You can just kind of expand it. So it's future-proof and expandable, but honestly, it's not really using a lot of the promise of what IP brings, right? If you think about convergence and real convergence in other markets, like where VoIP was and now is, like we haven't even scratched the surface of what the potential is of AV over IP for this industry. So that's why we're here. We think using an open standard is a big differentiator, and there's a lot more functionality you can bring and a lot more features customers can use. So the exciting thing I found, I worked for some other companies, and in 2018 I came back into the Pro AV space, and I was just a little surprised with how little has really happened with AV over IP at that point in 2018. Because we were still just replacing the HDMI matrix. And I've actually worked for the parent company of PlexusAV about 10-12 years ago, and there's such a lot of knowledge inside of this company as a whole that we can leverage for this market. So that's where my excitement comes from.